He's like one of the Washington Post's absolute lowlights. He's
terrible.
If anyone there deserves it, it's him. So
he's a Morning Joe regular. He's a Morning Joe regular. Yes. So let's watch the protest. And this is the Julian Assange protest, I would call it.
In particular, I'm curious whether you've been able to talk.
Excuse us, we can't use this day without calling for the freedom of Julian Assange. The Biden.
So I had watched it from here, and I didn't know that was Antony Blinken. But now that I have this extra, 12 seconds, that is Antony Blinken right there. I watched it from here. Yeah, I watched it from here.
He's just standing there with his like legs crossed and his hands in his lap, like, this is interesting.
All right, so I'll rewind it. So that is Antony Blinken. I said it wasn't earlier, so let's listen.
In particular, I'm curious whether you've been able to talk.
Excuse us, we can't use this day without calling for the freedom of Julian Assange. The Biden.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh my God, dude.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy, guys.
Not one word about journalist Shireen Abu Akleh.
Jesus, they really manhandled her off the stage.
You hear why he had to tell them this can't be the normal thing, guys. Take it easy. Take it easy, guys, because there's cameras around. That's a woman. Right. There's cameras around.
She's like.
Yeah. She's tiny. You're like 6'5". She's like 5'2".
And they need like 4 like jack dudes to like rip her off the stage. It's crazy.
Like Jack. Really like you talking about the people that protect an Antony Blinken.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like like they treated her like she was like going for his throat or something instead of just like standing there with a sign. But no, I mean it's an obvious point. And it's another year that goes by with Reporters Without Borders, making really any real stink at all about Julian Assange's ongoing detention. He spent over a decade basically now sequestered off from humanity. The past couple of years, he's been locked up in Britain's maximum security, the Guantanamo of the UK is what they call it, the Belmarsh prison. And he's denied access to pretty much anyone. When he did have access at the embassy, at the Ecuadorian embassy, every one of his visitors was having their phones scanned and copied. They were being,
monitored.
Right. Literally, and it's high profile people too, like Pamela Anderson and stuff. They're going after anybody. They considered murdering this man. They plotted to murder him under Mike Pompeo. And so, for them to have another World Press Freedom event and Julian Assange isn't front and center, that shows you pretty much everything you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. And I think that's another reason why he had to say kind of chill. Because Julian Assange, you see a lot of the corporate newspapers now giving the okay to say, let's free Julian Assange. It's wrong. They're giving the okay to say that now, because this was never about, and I think it was Chuck Modi who said it on here. This was never really about bringing him here to get him on trial, because then you have things like discovery, and it could be other things that can come out about the government with a trial like that, depending on how they try him, because government has different ways. So this is all about torturing him publicly, saying if you do this to the U.S. empire, this is the treatment you're getting. But it is absurd, and I'll pass it to you after this. It is absurd, Wyatt, that this says 2023 World Press Freedom Index, and then Julian Assange is not front and center at this event. But
well, it's the Reporters Without Borders, the Committee to Protect Journalists, all of these supposed kind of media watchdogs or press freedom watchdogs. I mean, at this point, they're just extensions of the broader media apparatus themselves. All these people, they are the same kind of journalist class of people that considers themselves to have like a God-given right to be able to go out anywhere in the world and tell a given people or a given country what they're doing wrong, and they're allowed to say anything or do anything, and they just think that they should basically not have any consequences ever. You see this that like Evan Gershkovich thing where it's like this guy is a long time massive, like Putin hater who spent the last decade like open, really trying to bring about the fall of the government. And that's always who they end up propping up at these events, are these kind of like propagandists, these Western propagandists who get caught up in some kind of espionage stuff. That's who they're mainly concerned with. They're not concerned with Julian Assange, because to them he's not a real journalist, because he doesn't float his like theories past the CIA before publishing them. He doesn't
get the okay.
He doesn't get a pat on the head and the AOK from the big
But
guys.
it's interesting. Why would Secretary Blinken be at a press freedom event in the first place? Why? Like, I don't get the
Gershkovich stuff.
Why
it's
he's
the Evan
there.
Gershkovich stuff, right? They're trying to set up, and it bleeds into this kind of whole Biden administration thing where they say, we are the defenders of democracy. Those are the autocrats. Those are the autocracies. It's not good versus evil. It's democracy versus autocracy. That's how they want to portray their new fight to preserve what they call the international liberal rules-based order. Right? We're defending our rules-based order from the evil autocrats. So they've honed in on press freedom as like some little area where they can say, oh, well, we're bad, but we're not as bad as those guys, right? Oh, that here's finally some area we've been able to identify where we can look like we have the moral high ground over Russia.
At least that's what they think. At least that's what they think.
Right. That's what they think. Well, and in their defense, everyone lets them get away with it, just about.
Right.
So